Welcome back to HoHo Farms. Here you're seeing where we're staging some of the garden plants and some of its nursery stock going out to customers. There's Dozer, our English bulldog. Such a cute boy.
Come on, Dee.
So what Jen and Dozer are working on here is cleaning up some of our nursery stock that has died over the years. We haven't gone through this area and plucked all the dead product out of here yet, so she's working on that, and we're building hugelkultur mounds to recycle the product. And then we also recycle the nursery pots back into products we sell. So there's a trailer full. Dozer getting up in a seat.
Come on. Good boy.
And we're building these hugelkultur mounds down in our camping area. So we're constantly improving on our camping area, using recycled products, trying to keep everything very natural. So in this particular spot, we're coving this in. This was Jen's idea, so that you have more privacy, because as people are walking up and down the road, it's a little more privacy, so you could place a nice little tent back in that cove. And this area is site number 2, and we're widening it out this winter, so we'll have that all pushed out and reseeded for more space. So 1's getting more private, 2's getting more space, and A and B. A's getting a little more widened out, and B is it's also getting more seated. So there'll be more and more camps or tent spots. So another angle of what we're accomplishing in site number 1. So Jen's showing you some view shots from site number 1. You can see how full the river is. Mid-January. But actually, besides the couple little atmospheric rivers we had come through, we've been super dry over the last week, and a future forecast is still showing dry, so it's kind of weird how the weather is this year to be so dry in the middle of winter, when this is when we get our heavy rains. Sure is pretty up here, though, no matter what season it is. And there's Dozer D. Oh, he's such a good boy. Hey, Dozer. I definitely think it's dozer approved. Leave me a comment what you think.
Get it.
So here, Jen's panning the camera across all the replanted Doug fir. So to give you a little history, when we bought this property back in 2018, we bought it from a timber company that bought it from a huge timber company here in the Pacific Northwest. The company we had bought it from harvested the timber and then had to replant it shortly after we purchased the property. So that's what you're seeing is regrowth from 2018 of Doug fir. And we have decided to let this area all just rewild. So if we were purely interested in the harvest dollars that would come from the timber that was replanted, we would actually go in with chemicals and mechanical extraction of all the underbrush. We're allowing all the pioneer trees to come back. So all the big leaf maples, alders, cottonwoods, wherever they want to populate, they're populating. We will go in and harvest some of them just because they're so quick to regrow. More of a regenerative approach. Our goal is to create an abundance on this property using permaculture principles. I encourage anybody to follow up on permaculture. Jeff Lawton out of Australia is great to watch. Really inspired me, especially through the COVID years. So when I say abundance, what I mean is abundance of biodiversity. By creating abundance of biodiversity, we can create income streams through tourism and things like creating this content. So I know it sounds cliche, but please like, subscribe, helps out the channel. Be active on our comments. It all helps. And 100% of it goes back to what we're doing here. So looks like we're going to have a nice sandy beach this year. Every year the river changes, and some years this area is super rocky, which, you know, it's quite a bit of rock, but all the little sand pods in between make it kind of fun for the kids. And this river will recede back a little bit more, so it'll typically be more of a sandy bar you can run along right on the river's edge. Those are putting some fresh paws. So this is the area right when you enter the campground. I wanted to show you some HoHo culture beds we've got going there. We put all this wood in there last spring, I believe, and it's going to create a great base. So we can come add more of those, you know, like nursery plants, dead nursery plants. And then we've got a bunch of soil up top where we're going to be putting our garden mixes. To build those bins out, we have to remove some soil. So we'll bring that soil down here and top it over these beds, and then we can plant directly into that. We think this is an eagle's nest. The population of bald eagles have greatly increased since we've purchased the property in 2018. And for the next bit, this is a video of Jen showing her building out those HoHo beds. So let's enjoy this. I know I will. One of the best parts of owning a English bulldog. And here goes the camera. Jen had to beat the hell out of those pots to get the plants out. So if you ever buy a trailer from me and you notice a bunch of weird dents in the wheel wells, you'll know why. As we plan to open the farm up this spring of 2026, we're going to need a bunch of pots because right now we just sell all of our plants online, so we don't ship with the pots. So we have a stockpile of pots. So this is how we're recycling all the plastic as well. So this is an area down past the campground at the corner of our property, just showing another river view. We have over half a mile of riverfront, so pretty neat to see all the trees washing down, some of the old relics of train tracks, and you can see the train tracks in the river right there, which is, mixed feelings on that because it's obviously a hazard and, man-made, but at the same time it's all left over from the Mount St. Helens explosion, so there's some history there. And up on our beach area we haven't found any debris like this, so pretty safe to be swimming and whatnot up there, but just be aware that there is some things being washed down the river still and being exposed as the river keeps cutting through all this sediment that was built up. This whole cliff right here, it was all sediment, or where Jen's actually taking this picture, but where she's panning through here, this was all sediment washed up on this bank. And it's about 30 feet up off the river. So pretty impressive. You can look on a map to see how far we are away from the explosion site. And here's a look at Jen's finished project for the day. Well, the project's not finished, but for today, she always leaves a clean work site. And Dozer too, of course. So she's got them all tightly woven in there. So it's just about to the point it looks like we need to start bringing loads of soil down. She even popped a couple pine trees in there. And here's another look at the current state of site number 1. It's always nice to go back through a day's work and see how much, document how much has happened that day. And you can look back, a month later, 3 months later, a year later, and see the progress, and it's pretty rewarding. It's one reason we like doing these videos is, building content for the grandkids to watch maybe someday and understand where we were thinking, and just show them the legacy that we're leaving for them. So maybe they can continue on with the base work we're doing. So while Jen was down working on the lower gardens, or the lower camping area, that's the gardens in the camping area, I guess, I was up here pushing a whole bunch of mulch. So off that big mound I just panned across, I pushed a huge mound over into close to the main pond, and then you can see these piles I've lumped in at the end of each one of these berm and swells we've created. And you can see what we're doing. We're just pushing down and shoveling it onto the beds. So you can follow this content more closely through our other channel, which is Hogi Gardens, Hogi Gardens. So we're simultaneously pretty much started HoHo Farms and Hogi Gardens to so HoHo Farms is going to be the entire property. Hogi Gardens is going to be just the gardens. So we'll do a lot of different content in there. But right now we're just concentrating on building the gardens. So we're just doing a series of how we're going about building out this permaculture food forest / botanical garden to show people how they can accent, beautiful conifers and landscape quality plants that most of them are all specific cultivars that have been bred to do a certain thing, whether it be weeping or extra blue or dwarf, miniature, all those different characteristics that a home gardener wants to do, like in their front yard or whatever. But also incorporate the food side of it with the permaculture principles. And I really encourage everybody to look into permaculture. I know I've already said it earlier, but it's really changed the way I think about not just gardening, but just life. And I think everybody could use a lot of what the principles stand for right now in 2026. So earth care, people care, and fair share are the 3 principles